Some people know how to live better than others with or without money. They just sought out and picked a better person to share their time with. You feel what I'm saying? Even if you sleep in a one-bedroom apartment, you may be richer than a rich guy. You see what I'm saying? Your life, the fabric of your life and what you're doing and how you feel about yourself at the moment.
So, I've been learning this, and I really want to be open and vulnerable about this without going too much in detail, because I already know people watch these videos. But I've experienced situations where I've had less than what I have now and was treated better than what I am now, right? And it was solely based upon who I was sharing my time with. You know, some women, you're just not gonna be enough for them. I don't have no remedy, I don't have no game, I don't have no sauce I could tell you to captivate or find peace with a woman who's not at peace with you, right? There's not much you can do about that. Everybody's different. Everybody wants different things in life. Everybody has, a different moral code and, sense of alignment within them. So you can't ever try to change anybody. But when you share your time with somebody who either doesn't appreciate, doesn't have a level of gratitude, doesn't share the same vision, unhealed, triggering, like it is so many different things. When you share space with something like that, you're going to hurt yourself. Like really, as men, you're gonna hurt yourself, right? Because it's really hard to move forward, plan, do the things you need to do as a man, in other words, when you have feminine energies around you that are pulling you in the opposite direction, right? Because women are very powerful, right? Whatever woman you have, she's either going to push you further towards what you want, or she's going to pull you further away from what you want. It's either or. There's no middle ground, right? She's either pulling you away from what you're trying to do and your destiny and your purpose, or she's pushing you towards it. When you have somebody who's pushing you towards it, and I'm talking to, and I feel like I need to get very specific, I'm talking to men who have high ambitions, men who, see long term, and they're really trying to, and not even trying, they're already in the process of dedicating themselves to that vision, right? When you're a man like that, you have to share your space, share your energy, share your gifts, share your wisdom, share your, your resources with a woman who not only sees what you've already done, right? And sees what it can grow into, but a woman who is willing to accept you for who you are. Because if she can accept you for who you are, then all the other growing and, manifesting, all other type of stuff falls into play. But if you're with somebody and they don't even accept you for who you are in that exact moment, how in the world are you even going to get to a pure enough space to where you can share your vision, share your goals, share your structure with somebody and potentially bring another life? That's not smart. But a lot of men, it's something in us. We like the chase. We like things that don't want us. And bro, if nobody's told you, I'm going to be the one who tell you, pick the ones who pick you. And if you're just now getting into what you do, right? And when I say what you do, I mean working on yourself, your mental, spiritual, and physical. A lot of women may not choose you you have to be kind of aware of that, right? But it's not because there's anything wrong with you. You're just not meeting the expectations that this woman, person, dude may have in their head, right? Like, I can actually give, like, here, like, I could probably make this so simple. I had a girlfriend, dated her for a while, right? I felt like nothing in my life was working, right? I felt like just things weren't panning out how I wanted to. Dude, people were cheating. We were both cheating. Like, it was just a whole mess. My emotional standpoint was gone. I was just sharing a space with somebody who wasn't cohesive to my vision. So whatever plan I set forth, whatever vision I had, bro, it was like just falling through. I wasn't able to see through on nothing. And I really didn't understand why. Because I'm like, bro, I'm so smart. I know I'm talented. Like, I know I can figure something out. Why in the world can't I think straight? You know, why in the world am I having difficulties formulating and getting clarity on my own life, right? And it wasn't until we broke up, I went through this whole like just breaking of the ego and shit like that, that I started to move forward. And it showed me something. Whoa, my life started to progress. My life started to really make drastic changes once I got away from this person, right? It took me back out of my comfort zone and allowed me to focus and cultivate my space, right? Then I had another girlfriend, right? This time, it was a little bit more aligned, right? Now, all of a sudden, the energies are combining into one space, right? We're both kind of doing the same thing. You get what I'm saying? It's an aligned energy. We're not bickering over small shit. In other words, I was sharing the space with somebody who was aligning with what I was aligning with, and it was just sharpening my skills and opening my eyes to different things, right? And then another girl, she's not probably heavily aligned to me, but we share the same goals, right? We have the same ambitions damn near. Sharing my space with her will only progress my life in a certain area, unfortunately, right? Because, well, not even unfortunately, fortunately, however you want to view it, because that person isn't really cohesive to the overall space, right? You're looking for people who are aligned and receptive to the overall picture, right? The core foundation, who you are, how you talk, how you think, how you look, whatever the case may be. She's actually receptive to you. You don't want to like interact with anybody and they're not receptive to you, like they don't even view you as attractive. They don't like the way you think. Don't even try getting at those women, right? They have to have that initial pull towards you from the get go, get go, right? And then from there, how does she think? Do we share somewhat of the same principles? Do we share somewhat of the same, like guidelines? And you really have to dig back into the way that some of these women think, right? Like spirituality, right? Like this thing right here on my wrist, right? This traces back to a certain place, which inevitably leads them towards a certain way of thinking because it exposed them to certain information, right? Now, other religions, because this isn't even a religion, this is life, but other constructs, in other words, right? That train of thought may lead them somewhere else, right? That background where their history took them based upon their ancestors, their lineage, their family, whatever the case may be, they landed somewhere else. So trying to share a space with something who doesn't share a foundational principle with you is going to be difficult, right? Versus the person who maybe did see it the same way that you did, or at least somewhat similar, and was willing to find a middle ground, that person might be a little bit more cohesive than the complete opposite. You get what I'm saying? It's, I've experienced it enough to see that it truly is just who you're sharing your time with, man. Now, as a man, your energy is going to be potent anyways, right? Whatever, space you step into, if you are actually, moving out of some sense of purpose and alignment, you're going to naturally influence the things around you, especially women, right? Because by nature, they're helpers, or I don't even like to say helpers, but you guys get what I'm saying. I don't even want to get too deep into that, but you get exactly what I'm saying. They're going to take influence to it very easily, right? Share spaces with the ones who are open to that sense of leadership, that sense of purpose, that sense of alignment. And stay away from the women who feel the need to fight your leadership, fight your independence, fight your vision, right? Because something within her isn't okay with that type of structure being over her. Whether she's been taught that is bad, she saw something in her own household that she didn't like. You really have no idea why she's trying to tear down leadership. But when you run into those who try to tear down leadership and don't really, make a man feel like a man, make him feel good, in other words, then you're just gonna run yourself into a wall. You're gonna run yourself into the dirt. You're going to have lack of vision, lack of clarity. You're gonna be asking why your life isn't moving forward, all of that stuff, man. I always say I'd rather be alone than sharing the space with somebody who is a distraction to my overall picture, right? I would rather sit in my stillness, sit in my wisdom, sit in my growth, sit in my vision, sit in my manifestations alone, than allow somebody into the space that wants to put their hand in front of my blessing. You can get the fuck out of here with that. Like, I'm okay. But it's the same thing with women, Like I said, I can't dig too deep into that headspace because I'm not a woman. But share your space. Go find a man who thinks like you think, who you're attracted to physically, mentally, spiritually, and how you see your life and how you see your gifts. Make sure you're aligning with a man who is receptive to that. If you're trying to help a man, you're trying to give him some wisdom, you're trying to give him some of that intuition, you're just overall trying to benefit that man, and he's like throwing it to the curb. Because I've seen that too, right? I've seen it happen in my real life, right? Every day, where a man will be so much on his high horse and his ego trip that he discards the woman's information and the woman's intuition, because he thinks by allowing her to be in that position of authority in something that she's truly better than him at, it will diminish him as a man. So he rather suppress the woman, block her gifts, block her wisdom, block all of that, because he rather see her at a position where he ultimately needs her, right? That's an unhealed man. If you think by letting your woman shine like it is hell is going to cause her to not need you and leave you, you should have picked a better girl to begin with, right? You should have, if, like I said, this is towards entrepreneurs, creatives, high ambitions, you should have had a better investment, bro. You you knew that wasn't a good return on investment and you did it anyways. You can't blame nobody but you. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we have to look at things from a bird's eye point of view and a more long term structure. Cause bro, this whole dating scene, boo boo, right? And is getting taught down, right? A lot of the things that my era, the late teens, early 20s, even mid 20s is dealing with, we're dealing with the mindset that was taught to us by our parents and their bull, right? Their trauma, their all that other type of stuff. Now we're reacting it. We need to like come with a more healed headspace. Now, if you think that you're one of these people who you're just ultimately healed, you really don't care what nobody says, to get with your program or get lost, that's cool too. Do what you please. But for the people that acknowledge there's healing that needs to happen on both ends, try sharing that space with another individual who also acknowledges healing needs to happen. Not an individual who thinks they're perfect. Two people who can acknowledge they need to heal will always last longer than two people who think they're perfect. Every time.